Shalom. First and foremost, want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shah, Bahashim, and Kakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and peace and salutations to those for elect. I'm the brother Yashar, and I just want to get into this lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shah. Yahweh being the Most High, who the world ignorantly calls God, through His only begotten Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, two so-called black men. All right, and I just want to get into this this testimony slash vision. I'm gonna break down that my daughter had. She had a dream slash vision 2 nights ago. I say vision because it was all prophetic. And she doesn't know the magnitude of this truth. She's only 10 years old. So she knows the name of the Lord and so on and so forth. But that's pretty much it. And we didn't see you chariots together, but like I said, she's a 10-year-old girl. So uh I'm gonna get this scripture and I'm gonna just break down her dream. This is Acts 2 and verse 16, 17. And it shall come to pass in the last days, saith Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shah, I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, and your young men shall see visions, and your old men shall dream dreams. I'm gonna read it in the NIV. In the last days, Yahweh Shem Shah says, I will pour out my spirit on all people. Your sons and your daughters will prophesy. Your young men will see visions. Your old men will dream dreams. You see that? And that's what happened in my daughter's vision, slash dream. She seen the chariots of the Lord. She seen people getting beamed up. She seen the destruction, you know, and it's heavy. So this is what the Lord is doing in these last days. And she heard me say, hence the title. If I ain't give the title out, the world is ending. So I'm gonna just explain everything she seen from what she told me to the best of her ability, and that was the first scripture I got. And when it says prophecy, because we the prophets of the Lord, it's just saying they have a dream, and then we, as the prophets of the Lord, prophesy means to say before, you know, we letting you know the things that happen before they happen, you know. And in her dream, she seen the prophecies. So I explained what she seen, and that'd be that. So she told me she was at her school, you know, and what seemed to be like a school, and it was like a event or like a parade type of event, probably like a gathering in her school or assembly that they. I remember going to the assemblies and stuff at school. So she's in the school, and then they hear a great noise, you know. So she run out to they go over like to the windows of the school, right? And I'm gonna start with um that noise. All right. So she heard a great noise, right? And this is exactly how she displayed it. So she heard the great noise. So I'm gonna get that. Where I'm at. This is Matthew 24 and 31. And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other. You see that? So she heard the great noise, went over to the window. She said she looked in the sky. She seen chariots, all right, a bunch of them coming in the sky. And then she said she seen people started to get beamed up, you know. But she's still in the school, so to speak. So she seen people starting to get beamed up after the great sound, right? So a lot of people was getting nervous. From what she said, people was running because they don't know what's going on. She said in the midst of that, she seen destruction, like in the and how she put it in the chaotic movies. So I'm understanding what she's saying. And what's that destruction? In the midst of the Lord beaming up his elect, missiles is gonna be hitting America, hitting Babylon. So let me read that one more time. And she shall send, and he Slakia, and he shall, and then he Slakia. Let me read it. And he shall send his angels with a great trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other. So the Lord is going to start on with, because no man knows the hour. The Most High is going to send forth His Son to gather the elect, and the Lord is going to come in that big father ship and the shuttle ships. All right, that might come out of the great ship, you know, to gather together his hopeful elect, the elect of the nation of Israel, the 144,000, as well as the rest of the elect, the men, the women, and the children. The ones that's allowed to be saved, all right, that's written in the book of life. So she seen that, she started seeing and then she gave me an image of what we going through UFO pics, and she said, look, just like that. I'm gonna put it in the icon pic so y'all brothers can see. And I was like, wow, that's heavy, you know. So then she said it was me, I got two other sons, my wife, and her in the corner, you know. And I told her, they don't really know what's going on. My son was confused. He young, and stuff like that. Well, another son was scared, you know, and I guess she said, I said, this is the end of the world. Like, this is it, you know. The world is ending, and that's scripture, you know. The world is ending, meaning what? The end of Esau's age, you know. Esau's rulership. Who's Esau? The so-called white man. Not the earth being completely destroyed, but this rulership, this age. The world is ending, like the scriptures tell you. And Salakia, because it was a faith booster, man. Like the scriptures tell you in Second Edges 6 and 7. I start at 8. I get straight to the point. No, I start at 7. Then answered I and said, what shall be the part and asunder of the times? Or when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth? And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the hill of Esau. Jacob, all right, his name was changed to Israel, meaning Yasharala in the Hebrew, Israel. He is a son of God. He's a prince of the Most High, you know? And we descend from that man, Israel. Hence the 12 tribes of Israel, all right? And it says, Jacob's hand held first the hill of Esau, for Esau is the end of the world. The world is ending, all right? It's the end of this devil's world. And Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth, you know? And she said, right after I said that, she woke up, you know? So, Lord willing, man, the Lord deliver, my family as well as me, as well as the sincere and the brothers that's out here pushing his word, you know? That was heavy, you know? The Lord just give our people these dreams and these visions, you know? And it's backing up the scriptures. How is it this young child just, you know? You can't make this stuff up, man. I got another scripture. She seen people getting beamed up. She seen the hopeful elect getting beamed up. She seen the elect getting beamed up. We call ourselves the hopeful elect because we hoping that we are part of that number. This is Isaiah 26 and verse 20. Come, my people. Who's the Lord's people? You Israelites. You so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. As well as the Israelite foreigners that may look like the other nations, but cleave unto this word. You could have a so-called Chinese looking Israelite. All right, he looks Chinese, but he goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. His this is roughly paraphrasing the scripture. But yeah, I lost my point. But yeah, it says, "Come, my people, the Lord's people, is you Israelites. All right, enter down to thy chambers and shut the doors about thee." What's the chambers? The chariots. All right. It says, "And shut thy doors about thee, hide thyself as it were for a little moment, until the indignation be overpassed." You know, what's that indignation? The Lord's righteous anger. The Lord is upset at this wicked ass demonic place, and he's coming to judge this place. The end of America is utter destruction. All right, America is that great mystery Babylon in the scriptures, that great city that ought to be destroyed. You know, it says, "For behold, the Lord cometh out of his
They are dead,
place."
they shall not live, they are deceased.
Slakia. The Lord cometh out of the Lord Yahweh by Shem Shah cometh out of his place to punish the inhabitants of the earth for their iniquity. Yep, what's iniquity? Sin upon sin. The earth also shall disclose her blood and shall no more cover her slain. So that's what's going to happen, man. That's what's going to take place. You know, the end of the world is ending, the destruction and the salvation for the elect. So, Lord willing, this is edifying, and I would like to say shalom.